Alright, so this is going to be a guide specifically tailored on Konoha Clans. And the reason I'm making this guide is because a lot of people have the mindset that they're super OP and that there's no counterplay and that Konoha just beats everybody. And in one case that's kind of true, but in another case it really just comes from a lack of information. And I kind of want to get that information out there because it's really sort of public information. You just kind of have to be able to put the pieces together. So I've done that for you, and it just kind of, I feel like this helps balance the game better because it takes the power away from people saying, hey admins, nerf this, hey admins, remove this, and it puts the power back into the player's hands to say, okay, I know how to play against this. Now because I know how to play against this, it's not as OP as I thought it was. So the first clan I'm going to start with is just the Aburame clan, okay? And we're just going to go through the perks real quick, and we're just going to knock it out real fast. So the Aburame clan, first thing to keep in mind is they cannot use any elemental ninjutsu. That means that you don't have to worry about them using any type of element to counter your element. You don't have to worry about them having any of those elemental perks that boost their damage. All of that stuff is null and void. So if you're a ninjutsu, you can just spam Keitan, spam Suiton, whatever you're spamming, and you know that they don't have any of those elemental counters for that. The next thing is, if they touch you, you become infested, and that means that you have their bugs on you, and if their bugs get on you, you're pretty much screwed, okay? So they're basically a drain tank in a sense where you cannot touch them. So if you're a CQC person, unfortunately, you cannot beat an Aburame, because if they get these bugs on you, you will be screwed. Alright, so they can track people. Alright, whoop-de-doo. That's nothing combat-wise. Alright, they can drain your chakra, okay? So again, this goes back to if they get their bugs on you, they drain your chakra, which means that you must not let that happen. That means that the key to beating an Aburame is going to be maintaining your distance, using jutsu from afar, and not going in CQC. It also means that whenever you're defending against their taijutsu attacks, if they do manage to get in your range, you need to roleplay carefully and roleplay as if you are dodging the attacks. You cannot put text, flavor text in there that allows them to actually touch you in the roleplay, or it's considered valid and it's considered that they get their bugs on you, and you cannot allow that to happen versus them. Alright, so if you walk into an area that can, so let's just go through this real fast. Any character that walks upon an area that has been infested with insects by a technique that is missed, or an insect clone that has been destroyed, becomes infested. Again, this just goes on to say basically they have remaining insects laying on the field from whenever they use techniques, so you have to keep those areas in your mind and avoid those areas. Alright, Kichaku may absorb a character's chakra in order to break them out of genjutsu. What does this mean? It basically means, from what I know thus far, is they have a built-in Kai using their bugs, and they also get to pay your chakra if you got infested to do it, or any of your teammates' chakra, however they want to do it. This goes back to, again, you can avoid this by not letting them get the bugs on you, but it also means that probably more often than not, genjutsu is not going to be the strategy in order to beat an Aburame, because they have this perk. Alright? They have this. This means that their Shunshin versus you is going to be very, very, very good. Okay? That means that they have the ability to get into CQC range with you on a cooldown that is vastly different than your cooldown. So what is the counterplay versus this? I'm glad you asked. Alright, so first of all, you've got to keep in mind that because their Shunshin cooldown is reduced to 2 turns, that means that your Shunshin is on, typically it's going to be somewhere between 3 to 5, okay? So if you know that a turn is coming up, you have to track their Shunshin, and you need to try to only Shunshin for Shunshin. That way, when you Shunshin, they Shunshin, you've got those cooldown turns to set yourself up to play carefully and make sure that when their Shunshin comes back off cooldown, you're ready for the next attack. Now, That could be in the form of you setting up a substitution, or in the form of you setting up some kind of jutsu that forces them to keep their distance. I'm not sure. But the most important thing is you've got to make sure you do not get infested versus them. Alright, they can't be sensed. Simple, if you got sensors, hey, it's not going to work. It's just as simple as you can put it. Now, this is a big one. They can clash ninjutsu techniques with swarms of insects. Now, here's the thing, though, okay? This is actually not as good as you think it is, or as you may believe it is, because it has a very big weakness. The chakra that they have to consume has to be equal to the technique's damage, which means if you use a technique that has a D drain and does A or B plus damage because you have a bunch of perks to boost it, because you're a ninjutsu user, they have to pay that damage cost, like B plus cost of chakra or B cost of chakra, whatever you want to call it, for you paying like a D drain or a C drain. That's a big step in your favor. Sometimes winning a battle is not about just blowing somebody away in one move. It's about the battle of attrition and slowly wearing them down. This, self-explanatory. They got +1 step of chakra. So that means if you're stepping up to an Aburame, they're probably going to have more chakra than you, unless you have chakra perks, and they don't. So, Aburame, going through it one more time. Strengths. They really want to get those bugs on you. If they get those bugs on you, you pretty much have lost. That's their win condition. If they get those bugs on you, you are absolutely boned. Unless you, burned yourself, but I don't even think that would work. Just don't let the bugs get on you, and you'll be fine. Weaknesses, they are very transparent in what they want to do. They want to get in you. They want to get those bugs on you. They want to get some technique that hits you. Anything to get the bugs on you, because that is their win condition. Outside of that, they're weak. Kite them. Use range techniques. Make them blow through their chakra. They are not broken OP to a point where you need to just walk away when you walk up to them. Hyuuga. Okay, going through Hyuuga real quick, alright? First thing to keep in mind, okay? This perk, for all intents and purposes, alright? This perk is going to be very important, okay? So, Hyuuga cannot use ninjutsu or genjutsu. Okay, so that means it takes away those two threats when you fight them completely. Alright? That is great. They can use basic medical techniques, but, if you see a medic Hyuuga, that means they're probably maxed out and they're just looking for something to do. Which, at that point, they probably should have gone taijutsu, but whatever. We're not getting into that. So, Tenketsu Jolter. Okay? This perk, I'm going to be completely honest here. You can literally take this perk and throw it out of your mind. Alright? Now, the reason why I say that is because it's pretty much never going to be relevant in any fight. And the reason why it's not going to be relevant, you'll see whenever I get to a later perk. But basically this means that you lose chakra for each attack that you defend against, but they have to touch you, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I know, they have to touch you. If not, then, I'll put it under the video that, you don't have to do that. But as long as, again, same rules as Aburame, as long as you dodge and don't roleplay defending, this perk doesn't apply. And when you get touched by a Hyuuga, this is the last of your worries. So don't even think about this. Alright? Defensive agility. Very, very, very important. Okay? This goes up to +4 eventually at a certain point. Okay? Whenever you get through these perks. Now, what that means is it means that when you attack them, they can defend very, very easily. Because they have more defensive agility than your offensive agility. So if you and a Hyuuga had the same base agility, and they had the max level of this goes up to +4 defensive steps, which means that they can perfectly defend against you, which costs them nothing. That is huge. What that means is, unless you have massive agility, and most people do not, because if you did, you would basically be sacrificing something else in your build, which would make you extremely weak in other areas that you don't want to be weak in, you cannot CQC a Hyuuga. That is their strength. It is just like Aburame. That is their strength. Some classes in this game cannot be CQC'd. I'm sorry if you're a taijutsu user. I'm sorry if you want to use your kenjutsu. You cannot beat them at their strength. We'll get to their weaknesses, though, as we go through the perks. Alright. B rank Kaiten. It's just Kaiten. You know, you attack, they use Kaiten, they can block it, but it costs a lot of chakra to use Kaiten, and that thing has a cooldown. Keep that in mind. Defensive agility, we already been through this. A rank Kaiten, same thing as Kaiten. Defensive agility, again, we already been through this. Kaiten is reduced by 1 cooldown, whatever. More defensive agility. Okay, this, telescopic vision, they can see things really far, guys. It's as simple as that. All this, they can see this over multiple maps. They can, it's like for roleplay flavor. Also, they have a +1 step Genjutsu resistance, and they're immune to the effects of flash bombs. That means don't flash bomb a Hyuuga. Simple as that. Don't flash bomb a Hyuuga. And Genjutsu may not work as well against them. If you'd like it to work against them, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. Okay? This isn't really important, but just in case you're a Gates user, keep it in mind. If they do hit you, they can close all your gates, which then puts everything on cooldown, and you are actively fucked. So try not to let that happen to you. Okay. This is the bread and butter. This is what makes Hyuuga great, and it makes them a god of CQC. Alright? If a Hyuuga lands a strike, just keep in mind, they land a strike, they get to automatically inflict a light injury. Okay? That means that endurance will not prevent this. That means that there is no guard you can do against this. Even if you have, like, armor or any of that crap, it doesn't matter. If they land a hit on you, you take a light injury. Why is that important? Because a light injury is 2 steps. Or, sorry, it's not 2 steps. Well, yeah, a light injury is 2 steps, okay? For all intents and purposes. You can only take 3 light injuries, because 2 light injuries evolves into heavy, if I'm correct. And then another light injury takes that heavy and evolves it into knockout. Just call it knockout for internal. Yeah, so knockout. 3 hits from this, you're done. Okay? And you gotta remember that you're probably not the only person fighting, because for whatever reason you might be in a 3v3 or, God forbid, a 6v6. You cannot get in CQC with a Hyuuga, and you cannot let this happen. I'm not going to go into explicit details, but Hyuuga's techniques as well, they are considered taijutsu. So because they're considered taijutsu, their special jutsu, you know, like stuff from the anime, like 64 palm, shit like that, it actually does not get to be used until you run out of defensive stacks. Keep that in mind. Try not to run out of defensive stacks for the Hyuuga, because if you do and you get hit with 64 palms, I'm not going to tell you what it does, but just, you pretty much can press the red X on your screen, and so you're done. You're not coming back from that, unless you set up a substitution beforehand, at which point, smart you. Okay, big. Lightning strikes. Again, all agility boosts are nullified when you fight them, okay? Sharingan, Shikaku, like any other random agility buffs you have. That's massive. That means that when you fight a Hyuuga, you lose all your extra stuff, and they get to keep their stuff. Byakugan has effects too that I'm not going to go into because I think it's supposed to be hidden, but we're just going to say that it's also very, very dangerous when Hyuuga have perks. So again, Hyuuga, CQC gods. You cannot beat them in CQC, but do you want to know how you beat them? I'd be glad to tell you. Alright? Hyugas have the same weakness as Aburame for the most part. They want CQC, they funnel on CQC, they don't have any range techniques hardly, and because of the way that they must build, it means that you can exploit them very, very easily, because all you have to do is hit them from a range. But there's a caveat. If you are a weaponist user, you're probably not going to be able to accomplish this, because again, weapons focus on defensive agility. So to beat a Hyuuga, a weaponist cannot beat a Hyuuga, probably. Kaifu Jutsu could, in theory, beat a Hyuuga. Still risky, because they probably can just Kaiten it, and then you're on a longer cooldown in their Kaiten, and it gets kind of iffy unless you're like a Grandmaster. But, just saying. When you want to beat a Hyuuga, keep your distance, because that's their weakness. You spam your techniques from a distance that doesn't include weapons. I cannot say this enough. If your weapons don't hit, if they don't remove defensive stacks, guys, don't use your weapons. It's just that simple. It's just a waste. It's just a waste of an action, and you can do something better with it. Weaknesses, kiting, long-range techniques, same as Aburame. There are certain things that cannot beat a Hyuuga. CQC is one of them, for most cases. Okay, on to the next clan. Akamichi. Cool. Okay, so to go through Akamichi real quick, I think this one will be a lot faster. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you real quick. I'm literally going to click on the perks and look for anything that might be relevant. Okay, so they get extra endurance, whatever. I've never seen any one of these guys with pills, so I couldn't even tell you about this. Whatever. Okay, big one. They're immune to petty injuries. Okay, so if they have body or monstrous body, right? Actually, if they have body, right? Body doesn't, yeah. Body allows you to take a petty, yeah. So if they have body and you do a petty injury to them, they don't take any damage at all. So that's just the way this perk works. It doesn't mean they don't take any damage. It just means that if they have body, and you were to do a petty, because a petty is the minimum if you have body, if you have more endurance in something, they don't take any damage. Okay? Simple put. This is more endurance, self-explanatory. Damage, no one cares. I've never seen this armor, doesn't matter. Okay, all this stuff. They get extra chakra or whatever, no one cares. Again, most of this stuff I've never seen. Okay, for below S, again, whatever. None of this stuff, okay. None of this stuff I've never really seen. Alright, here's the deal. Akamichi, gonna make it real quick, real fast for you. Alright? Akamichi, for all intents and purposes, they're an off-brand Kaguya. That's as simple as I can put it. Akamichi are tanks. Massive, massive, massive tanks. You do not beat a tank unless you have tank-busting abilities. So, tank busting abilities, what do they consist of? Abilities that allow you to ignore endurance. Abilities that don't even care about endurance. Those are your two ways that you're going to deal with an Akamichi, because an Akamichi is a tank. They don't really have many tools outside of being a huge, massive tank. They're pretty slow, but they're really, really tanky. Akamichi, their strengths come in protecting their teammates and stalling you out, and making you waste chakra on fights in situations when you really shouldn't be doing that. You want to beat an Akamichi? Bring tank busting skills. It's that simple. And they're like weakness, like I said. Weakness is speed. This is very important. You need to respect your positioning versus an Akamichi. You need to respect your positioning. I say it again. If your positioning is bad versus them, you will end up getting screwed by their techniques. Watch your positioning. Not broken class, guys. Not a broken class. Uchiha. Okay. Uchiha. Let's go through this real quick. Uchiha are not broken. Okay, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Uchiha currently in the game are not broken. Now, when they start getting Sharingan 3 and all this other shit, guys, shit's gonna get real. That's when Uchiha become, quote-unquote, potentially broken, alright? That's when they start becoming a pain in the ass to deal with. But, as of now, an Uchiha is not really broken. This whole tree, most Uchihas don't even have half of these perks. Have even probably a fourth of these perks. What is making Uchiha good right now is the fact that all an Uchiha is someone who has Keitan, has slightly faster Keitan, and has Sharingan, which allows them to be... everybody knows at this point, I'm assuming. Sharingan gives you agility. I'm not going to talk about how much, I'm not going to talk about specifically why, but Sharingan gives agility. It's just as simple as that, okay? Sharingan gives agility. So, there, alright? Now, so they're just a Keitan user who has slightly more agility and has faster Keitan. I'm not going to go into Uchiha because, again, they're not relevant right now. All they literally are Keitan users. When they start getting relevant, I will come back and make a specific Uchiha guide. But for today, just they're Keitan. And I will literally add Keitan in on another video, okay? They're just Keitan. That's all there's to it. Nara. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I fucking hate Nara. I really do. Like, woo! Really hate this class. And that's because they're like a feast or famine type thing, where it's like either they one-shot you, or they're just useless for the entire duration of a fight. I cannot stand feast or famine type, like, classes and games or whatever, where it's like, I gotta bend this fight, it's a stat check, do you have the stats? No? Alright, cool, fuck it, you just automatically lose, or I automatically win, whatever. Wait, I automatically, whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, so, Nara, I mean, there's not much to talk about, because I think, at this point, Nara are so fucking bad that nobody's playing them anymore. A lot of their shit comes down to what Kage Mane does, and if I show you that jutsu, I'm pretty sure it's Icy and OC, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna tell you that versus Nara, you need to be aware of your positioning and your speed. Positioning and speed. That's pretty much it. Also, if you have high strength, you pretty much can, like, in theory, you can break out of their jutsu, or you can do whatever you want while you're bound or whatever. But, I mean, again, just... you probably are not going to see a Nara, so I really don't even know why I'm addressing this. Like, just, if somebody cares about Nara, whatever, I'll throw something in eventually in another video. Inuzuka, cool. Alright, Inuzuka, guys. I'm going to go through this, but it's not really, you know. Alright, so, they gain 1 step of offensive agility per step of smell perk in Shikaku, alright? This is just simply means that they just get offensive agility for other perks. Okay, they get strength. All right, cool. I've never seen anybody use a beast pill. I can't really talk about it. You can sustain their techniques indefinitely. Inuzuka basically can sense you in a sense. Whatever. They get speed. All right. This gives them enhanced senses. I mean, like, it's a replacement. It means they don't have to buy the sensing perks, basically. They get them for free and their thing, which means that they get these buffs also. I mean, again, just more sensing. You lose, whatever, this doesn't matter. I mean, it's good, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's not something that, like, stands out, like, oh my god, I'm super broken. Okay. And then they get strength for using Inuzuka techniques. Alright, so let's just go through Inuzuka real quick. Alright, Inuzuka... if I had to go through Inuzuka, I would say that they are kind of like if you were to take the Hyuuga, and then you were to take the Hyuuga, and then you were to say, okay, you're good at CQC. You probably can win a lot of CQC matches if you play correctly, but I'm going to take away some of that auto-win power in CQC, and I'm going to put that into giving you the ability to deal with ninjutsu. And so that's what Inuzuka is. It's basically just a taijutsu user that has some of its Tai power cut off in specific areas in order to give it the ability to be able to deal ninjutsu or be able to deal with ninjutsu a little bit better. A lot of their attacks give them kind of that flexibility. So they're basically kind of like, they're a bruiser. Instead of just like a straight up taijutsu in your face beat you down type person, they're more like a bruiser type class where they can kind of beat you down a little bit in different ways. Their specific weaknesses, again, this is just going to be about positioning. You've just got to watch how you position. You've got to manage your chakra. You've got to make sure that you're ready for their techniques. And a lot of that comes down to how you maneuver and also shunshin use. It's a very, very key aspect of the game that I'll go over in another guide. Inuzuka, though, not broken. You're probably not going to beat this class with a weapon user. Just going to throw that out there. Weaponists are probably not going to be able to handle this class. So, ahead of time, unless you've got some kind of special weapons, don't think about it. If you're a taijutsu user, you might actually win as a taijutsu user with Gates versus a Inuzuka. It all depends on how strong you guys are and the builds and the choices you make. But that's Inuzuka in a nutshell. Alright, this is not Konoha, so I don't give a shit. I think are we done? Yeah, we're done. Okay, cool. So that's all of the Konoha clans, apparently. Oh, Senju. I mean, they don't have a tree up here. I don't know if they're gonna get a tree. Senju's currently not OP. I don't know how that'll change in the future, but they just get to use like a lot of techniques as far as I know. They just have a very big range of techniques. Alright, so that's gonna do it for the Konoha video. I'm gonna think for a second, make sure that I've gone over every clan in Konoha. Yeah, that's every clan. Alright, so as a final note, just to go ahead off on a note here, Konoha is not OP at all. The biggest issue, if you're having problems with Konoha, it's going to be because of poor build choices or poor team setups. In this game, you are punished for what you do in terms of... I'm going to bring this back to League of Legends real quick. Hopefully some of you guys have played it so you understand. If I was to play a champion and build the wrong items on them, I am making my champion weaker at what they're supposed to do because I'm building wrong. Okay? Second thing, if I was to play my champion and build the right items, but I had the wrong team built, it doesn't matter because I have exploitable weaknesses. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how much you love your best friend in the entire world or whatever, alright? If you know that you're going up against a Hyuuga, you don't bring a weaponist. There is nothing, absolutely, positively, almost nothing a weaponist can do versus Hyuuga. Except if they are super good weaponists, like master weaponists. Everybody knows it's in the anime, Hyuuga blind spot, that's that whole, you know. But outside of that, your Genin friend's probably not going to be able to do that, okay? So don't bring them with you. Like, think about how you build teams. Think about the squads you build and the people that you are potentially going to go up against before you do it. Because it's very, very important. Konoha is not OP, again. It is just the fact that the way that their squad lineups come out typically, they come out more balanced just because of how they all interact together. And it's very easy for them to have strong, balanced squads that can cover a lot of ranges because a lot of people build incorrect teams outside of there. A lot. Okay, so that's it for this video on Konoha Clans. If anybody has any questions, feel free to submit them. The next video I'm going to do is going to be on the elements, and for all intents and purposes, I'm actually going to go ahead and include the Kiri clans in it just to go ahead and knock them out, and the Suna clans. I'm just going to throw everything in the next video and just call it a good day. Alright, so yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that.